Welcome back to LFC Transfer Hub, your ultimate home for all things Liverpool. Today we've got huge transfer drama and breaking news.
Today's football news features 4 massive transfer updates. Florian Wirtz'S sends a clear message, teammate shocked by Liverpool reports. Liverpool make a surprise slot decision as a new signing is targeted. Chelsea star Estevao reveals 2 spectacular teammates. Manchester United face transfer chaos, Gyökeres's agent drops a bombshell claim. Let's dive into today's most talked about football stories. Florian Wirtz'S message unmistakable as teammate shocked by Liverpool reports. It was news to Germany's Serge Gnabry this week when it was put to him that Florian Wirtz'S was experiencing some teething problems at Liverpool. The Bayern Munich winger was speaking at a press conference to preview Die Mannschafts World Cup qualifier with Luxembourg on Friday night when he was asked about Wirtz'S general adaptation to life on Merseyside. "We all try to help each other as teammates, especially the ones in a difficult situation," Gnabry said. "But I don't have the impression that Flo is not doing well. He's laughing and training well. Nobody doubts his qualities, and he shouldn't either. Give the guy some time. It was a big move, but he has huge qualities and I'm certain that he will succeed." Gnabry's effusive praise of Wirtz'S ability comes hot on the heels of an appraisal from Germany legend Jürgen Klinsmann this week, who himself remarked in an interview with Sports Illustrated, "Florian needs his time to find his way around the northwest of England, Liverpool in particular. That's a lot for a young guy. And then he comes into a team that consists only of superstars. He has to fight his way through step by step, and he will. He is a fighter." Further reassurance, if it was needed for Wirtz's, came via the German FA's sporting director, Andreas Rettig, who said, "One thing is clear, Florian will establish himself at Liverpool, there's no debate. No one can seriously claim that a player of his quality won't succeed." And even the iconic Rudi Völler has had the situation of the current jewel of German football thrown at him. Völler, who has previously worked as sporting director at Leverkusen, struck a similar tone to other prominent figures in Wirtz'S homeland, saying, "Florian shouldn't let himself get carried away. I have no concerns about that. He'll show the English what he's made of. Florian is playing in a new league and a new club. These are normal adjustment problems. Almost every professional has them. I have no doubt that with his running and playing ability, he will make the breakthrough." That Wirtz's is the subject of so much chatter in Germany is indicative of the fact that the £116 million playmaker has yet to light the blue touch paper on his Anfield career so far. It's been a difficult adjustment for so many of the club's new arrivals this summer, and the Reds entered into the international break on the back of 3 successive defeats. That is the worst sequence of its kind under Arne Slot, and the club hasn't been on such a run since the early months of 2023. For Wirtz's, he sits alongside Alexander Isak as the most high-profile of the new arrivals, but the former Newcastle United man's issues are more easily explained given the lack of preseason he was able to undertake as his protracted and acrimonious departure from St James Park went on. Isak, rightly or wrongly, is likely being cut more slack by observers of Premier League football due to the evidence of his capabilities that has been banked over the last 2 to 3 years of his career on Tyneside. The Sweden international has scored more than 40 times in the Premier League in the last 2 terms, many of them still fresh in the collective memory. Perhaps there would be more margin for Wirtz's error had he been the star player for a team who went an entire season unbeaten to win the first domestic title in their history on these shores rather than in the Bundesliga, as he did for Leverkusen in 2024, but for now, it is fair to say the Premier League has yet to be taken by the scruff of the neck by Liverpool's new number 7. It's helpful then, from the Reds' perspective, that the deluge of comments from Germany about Wirtz's have all been insistent that the former Bayer Leverkusen star will inevitably show his class. It is not just the sanctuary of Germany where Wirtz's is finding support at present, though. Former England winger Chris Waddle knows all about the difficulties of having to instantly become the creative fulcrum on foreign soil, having moved to Ligue 1 side Marseille in 1989. "I've watched Wirtz's for a few years, and he's a terrific talent, but he's having an awful time right now," Waddle told bestbettingsites.com. "He's not doing it for Germany either, and they're struggling a bit in World Cup qualifying. They have built the team around him there and it's not quite happening, but there's no doubting his talent. He was wonderful for Leverkusen, but his confidence will be low while expectations are sky high. People forget he's only 22, but it's hard to just arrive in the Premier League. In Germany he had more time on the ball and now it's 100 miles an hour for him. He needs to get up to speed, and we don't know how easy he has found it to adjust off the pitch to a new life. If people are patient, he'll be fine. I had an awful start at Marseille. 4 months people questioned my signing, my price tag, and then it all clicked suddenly. I was Magic Chris, but before then I was getting annihilated. He just needs to settle down and get used to a physical league. That patience that Waddle asks for is a rare commodity in modern football, but the glowing reports from Germany should be enough to convince even the most ardent skeptic that Liverpool will get their new man purring soon enough. Liverpool makes surprise slot decision as quick signing targeted. Liverpool are in the midst of contract talks with manager Arne Slot after the Dutchman helped the club to Premier League title success last season. Slot still has nearly 2 years left to run on his deal at Anfield, but the Reds are desperate to secure the Dutchman's future on a longer-term basis, and super agent Rafaela Pimenta is already in talks with the club, according to the Daily Mail. This comes amidst a background of Liverpool running into what has been Slot's most difficult period of form since taking over from Jurgen Klopp little over 12 months ago. The Premier League champions lost 3 matches in the space of 7 days prior to the international break, with defeats away to Crystal Palace, Galatasaray and Chelsea suddenly putting an unexpected spotlight on the manager. After a huge investment in the playing staff during the summer, there is an expectation on the former Feyenoord boss to get things right. While Liverpool sits second in the Premier League, there are concerns about the manner in which they have consistently been forced to grind out results this term. The decision of the Merseyside club to push for a new deal for Slot at this point is, therefore, a strong show of faith in their boss, with the Mail explaining that they want to resolve the issue swiftly. Liverpool have been embroiled in frustrating contract sagas in recent months, with Mohamed Salah, Virgil van Dijk and Trent Alexander-Arnold all involved in uncertainty towards the end of last season. This is something they are eager to avoid with regards their manager. Slot speaks out on new contract. Slot previously spoke out on the issue of a new deal at the end of last season. "I think you are not going to be surprised about my answer," Slot confessed. "I always try to stay away from speculation, I would say completely, but as much as I can. So off the record is the same as on the record. I don't talk about contracts in public, and I like that so much because if you start to talk so much off the record, your life is going to be much harder. I will always say on and off the record, it's the same. So I say nothing or what I think I should say." Despite the Liverpool boss wanting to stay silent, the signs are that contract talks are well underway. Estevao makes Chelsea confession and reveals 2 spectacular teammates. Chelsea attacker Willian Estevao has impressed since arriving in London in the summer and says the best is yet to come as he feels he is improving on a daily basis under Enzo Maresca. Estevao, 18, moved to Chelsea from Palmeiras in a €45 million transfer but has not looked a player burdened by such a lavish transfer fee. Indeed, the teenager struck his first major blow as a Blues star against Liverpool prior to the international break as he slid home a late winning goal in a blockbuster Premier League clash. It's been something of a baptism of fire for the teenager, who admits that he's had to step up a level quickly. "When you arrive, you don't know what things are like, but you learn. The training intensity is higher here, and that reflects in the game. I'm managing to keep up with the pace," Estevao said, according to Chelsea.news. On top of this, he picked out 2 clubmates who have left him impressed. Andre Santos and João Pedro are spectacular. They're not here for nothing. But of course, I've been getting close to them since the beginning, the Brazilian explained while on international duty. Estevao is not the first of Andre Santos' teammates to shower him with praise. The former Strasbourg loan player has previously been touted as the best in the world by his colleagues. An increasing danger. Estevao, meanwhile, has enjoyed a spectacular rise in recent months, with his estimated transfer value, ETV, climbing to €76.3 million since he joined Chelsea in the summer. He has been impressed with Maresca's methods, even if it means he has yet to settle on playing one role. "I've been changing positions frequently," the 18-year-old told the media earlier this week. "Maresca always tries to get the best out of me. Even in training, he's been putting me in different attacking roles so I can have more repertoire, more game awareness. In the last match against Liverpool, I came on as a winger. And in the last Champions League game I played through the middle." Already Chelsea's €45 million transfer spend on Estevao is looking a bargain, and that's before he's even close to his best. Gyökeres Man United transfer bombshell drops, deal completed behind our backs, claims agent. Victor Gyökeres could have been a Manchester United player by now, with an assistant to the agent of the Arsenal striker revealing that a deal was actually agreed with him to move to Old Trafford in the summer. Gyökeres' transfer saga was one of the defining sagas of the transfer window, with the Sweden international striker ultimately moving to Arsenal for a fee of €66 million. Having missed out on the 27-year-old, Man United instead moved for Benjamin Sesko, yet it now appears that the former RB Leipzig hitman was the second choice of the Old Trafford side. Jonathan Chakias, an assistant to Gyökeres' agent Hassan Sedinkaya, has alleged that before the former Coventry hitman agreed to move to the Emirates Stadium, Sporting were secretly plotting to hook him up again with Ruben Amorim at Old Trafford. There were crazy amounts offered from Saudi Arabia. "We're supposed to act in our best interest," Chakias told the Studio Allsvenskan podcast. "Do we also have a percentage of any fee?" "Of course. It's a lot of money. Maybe Victor should respond to that someday. I don't think we pressured him once to accept the offer. At the end of the day, money comes and goes, and this move to Arsenal brings us a lot of marketing. Sporting had concluded a deal with Manchester United behind our backs, that was a problem. United offered a higher transfer fee. The real reason behind Sporting's anger revealed? Gyökeres ultimately left Lisbon under a cloud. There was a very public dispute with Sporting president Fredrik Varandas, who slammed the way that the Swede conducted himself in trying to force a move away. Armed with the information provided by Chakias, it's not a leap to guess that Sporting's anger towards the striker may have been generated at least in part by his refusal to accept Man Utd's bigger bid and instead move to Arsenal.